Welcome to Reseller Recap, where we talk all things reselling across multiple platforms. Join us for real-life discussions on how we crush the elusive work-life balance. Grab a coffee and join us now.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Reseller Recap with Jen, Emily, and Morgan. Today, we're going to talk about some of the latest things going on with Walmart and Amazon because, you know, they love to shake things up nonstop. So the first, I guess, platform we'll talk about is Walmart and what's going on over there. Morgan, do you have anything you want to talk about going on with
Wait,
Walmart?
let me just say, is our energy at an all-time low? As soon as we started, I was like, the energy, we got to do something. We got to do some jumping jacks.
Wait. Okay, we're just gonna edit this
Can I
out.
side note that I got called out on Instagram Reels because it was like, do you wake up and do you need coffee? Do you need coffee all day long? You're a cortisol-aholic or something. And I was like, leave me alone. Leave my coffee and energy levels alone.
I was watching the podcast that's coming out tomorrow because I was trying to find like a clip to reel from it. And me and Emily are like this. Like we like literally look like we're about to fall asleep. Like the whole time.
And boring you
and like you're like so happy and alive, and me and Emily are just like barely.
Be a cortisol-aholic with me.
I have a quad right now, so and this is my 5th shot of today.
Oh geez.
And it is 11:20, so I'm always in too deep.
I had my Starbucks earlier. I was at Starbucks working. That's why I forgot to call you. So okay.
And we're back.
Back.
Sorry, Jen, go ahead.
No, you're good. I wanted Morgan to share what's been going on with Walmart for you. Like, what have you been noticing the last week or so?
Okay, there's been glitches with the system adding items to your catalog. It just automatically would error out new items and old items. So like if you made any changes, pricing, inventory, anything like that, it was airing them out. So love that. The worst part I think was that it happened right in the little merchant push for Easter. And then on, I think it was Thursday night, it was either Thursday night or Friday, Walmart for buyers went down. So you couldn't buy anything on the app for like 12 hours. So that definitely took a hit on my sales because I had a pretty solid day. And then it just, and I was like, oh, maybe everybody just has everything for Easter. They're going to stores now. Didn't think twice about it. And somebody in the community was like, yeah, Walmart app is down. And I'm like, okay. So then by the time that came back up, I think it was Friday afternoon, Saturday-ish, somewhere in there. And orders were coming in, but it was all Easter stuff. And there was no way it was going to get to the customer in time. So shortly after, a bunch of cancellations started coming through. So that kind of sucked. I'm trying to think. What else has there been issues with? Also, WFS was glitching. I think it maybe was the same issue with the products. I don't know, but it was having issues like creating WFS shipments and adding items too. So we were down for like 3 days last week, which really flipped my whole schedule because the beginning of my week is usually, if I don't get stuff done on Monday, then like the first half of my week is just like running around merchant orders. So that second half, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday is really where I get things done. And I was like, great, it'll be great because nobody will really be ordering anything because by Saturday, you know, Easter's the next day, I can really catch up. And I could not do anything. So I got to rest, I guess, which is almost like you need a day from resting because did I really? No. It was the day before a holiday. So we're all running around with our heads cut off, preparing for dinner and having family over. Then Sunday family came over. And then like Monday morning, I'm like, wow, barely living right now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I know. I noticed it was things that I sent in only WFS. It was trying to say I had the same amount seller fulfilled. So if I had like 11, I sent into WFS, it was saying I had 22. And then when you clicked on the 22, it said you had 11 seller. It was just, and they kept saying, oh, that we don't see that on our side, you know, and I'm like, I'm having to cancel these. I don't have any of it here. I had to cancel multiple. This better not affect, you know, my account, descore these. I'm sending them screenshots and they're like, oh, we don't see that from our side. I'm like, well, wow. I'm literally, so PS, if you open cases with Walmart and you're saying you're seeing something, always send screenshots of it, you know, do a print screen and include that. Because when I send them that, then all of a sudden they don't just close my case or say it doesn't exist because then they have visual proof of what actually is happening.
Yeah.
I know some people are having like price glitching too. Like it was, and it's still kind of going on. It's like bottoming out prices.
PS, this is a huge note. Check in your, if you go to your tabs, go to pricing, check your pricing incentives. I thought that I was having a lot of glitches with my prices and I kept changing it and it kept dropping. And I'm like, what is happening? And then I don't know, a light bulb just went off randomly in the middle of the day. And I was like, pricing incentives. And they auto enrolled my new SKUs into that.
Okay.
And so it was, I had like a bunch of like Easter stuff that was at like $15.99. They were selling it at $6. And that was making me panic because I'm like, oh my God, like that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Well, it was in the pricing incentives. So they're supposed to give you the money back. The statement period just closed today. So I'm hoping that tomorrow or Thursday I can go back and check and make sure they actually gave me the money back.
Actually gave you the money.
But yeah, I was like, what is happening? And like you would change the price, it would save, and then like 5 minutes later it would go back to the low price. So I've been telling everybody, make sure you check there first. And then if it's not there, then yeah, probably. I also got an email from Walmart yesterday and it was like, hey, you have new pricing incentive opportunities available. Click here to see them. And I clicked there and there was nothing. Yeah, well, because they auto enrolled more items into it. And so I'm like, you guys are emailing it, making it seem like it's optional, but you guys are just enrolling stuff. So make sure you check that. That's huge because I was getting so many orders and I was like, change the inventory 000. And then, they wouldn't let me change the inventory. It was glitching.
Can you exclude yourself from auto enrolling, or is there not a way to do that?
You can turn it
off.
So
you can turn it. You can turn it off, but the problem that I've noticed is I turned it off and it's still auto enrolling me.
Interesting.
So I'm like,
definitely open a case because that's not. I'm off and I don't have anything. I haven't had that issue.
And it's not doing that for you, huh? Yeah, because when they first rolled it out, they gave you the option. They said like, this is what's happening. You can enroll in it. And then, but they just enrolled everybody in it. They didn't actually give you the option. So then I think it was on the community call. I think it was like Ron or somebody brought it up. And so we all unenrolled on the call and it's still enrolling my items. It's not, as long as they're giving me the money back, it's not the biggest of deals. But now I'm also wondering how many people are receiving the price error message because they're putting these items in incentives. So if mine was at $15.99 and now they're selling it at $6, anybody who's not enrolled in that, are they getting kicked off the listing now because, you know, they're at $15.99?
Good point.
So I don't know what they got going on, but
was that a merchant order or WFS item?
It was merchant, but I have it for WFS too.
Okay.
Because some of my WFS items have been selling. You know what I'm wondering? I wonder if they're going to give you that $1 back if it's under $10.
It's going to put you under $10 now.
Huh. Yeah. I'm literally waiting for the new statement to roll out because I wanted to.
I saw I got paid, but the statement won't be out till tomorrow. You know.
Yeah,
that'll be interesting. We really need to like start compiling our list for the conference, like because I feel like we keep having conversations about all these things to talk about, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to go back through our text chain for the last year because it's like, so many like, don't forget that, don't forget. So we do have it somewhere, but it's gonna take us like so long to compile.
They're gonna be like avoiding us at the event.
I'm gonna bring in a folder, like a 3-ring binder with like all my print screens.
Yes.
Oh, don't worry. I've been keeping a running list. I just added price incentives on it.
Okay,
so
good.
There's probably like at least 40 things on here.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, and I had the issue too, like, you know, we've brought up over and over again of having things like having a merchant listing for that SKU and also a WFS item. Well, I was waiting for something to get checked in, and then it was Sunday, like, of course, in the middle of like chaos, that things got checked in. Well, it was selling it at the merchant price, not the WFS price. So then it's under the 10 and there's extra $1. Like they gave 0 heads up and it sold out in minutes, even though I had sent a ton in because it was a hot item. And it was like, you know what, this is my perfect example to show them of why they need to be separated, because it's price airing if I put this price for seller fulfilled, but if I put this price for WFS, it's fine. So I had to change my pricing, you know, to get it to go live. So that was super duper fun. And then, I loved, like some people in the community were talking about when they had the system being down, they were trying to pick up their like pickup orders from Walmart and they couldn't even like check in.
Oh yeah.
Or anything. They couldn't people couldn't check out. You couldn't use Scan and Go. You couldn't use Walmart Play. Like you couldn't do anything. Like it was just all like the amount of money they probably lost. And I don't know what and the weird thing too, you know what, Morgan, like they had this issue during Easter last year. Things were going all haywire. And I know like their fiscal years, like February to February, by the way, like in case anybody doesn't know that about Walmart, it's not January. They do February to February, and they do like a software freeze during Q4. But I feel like they start making changes now. And then Easter is, you know, second to Christmas for me as far as sales.
Yeah.
And I think it ends up causing all these glitches every year, and they lose so much because they're probably made changes, don't have the right, they need to almost do another freeze for like a month, if that makes sense, like to just get through Easter and not have all this stuff go wrong.
I agree.
So
I also have this other glitch where I forget what that act is called, where you have to confirm like your tax information and
like
your
the Inform Act.
Yes. Okay. On Walmart, this is literally like my 5th time in like a month confirming this information.
Are you
like
trying to be the primary
verify.
contact and it won't take it?
No, mine is under business information. It keeps saying to verify my tax information. And so I do it, and then like a couple hours it'll be like verified, and it'll be fine for like a week, and then to the T 7 days later it'll be like, please verify this information.
Oh wow.
I'm like, I don't know.
No. Mine's the primary contact. Like, you have to choose contacts for each thing under it. And it has me listed there, and I choose myself. And then it says, we can't save this contact. You need to create a new primary contact. And so I've opened cases and I was like, okay, well, this is me. I can't make a new me. Like, this is the information. And then they're like, oh, okay, we'll look into this. And it closes. And then, oh, well, you just need to create a new contact. You need to send us your driver's license and EIN and la, la, la. I send all that. Still not saved in there. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to let it ride, because I've tried multiple times to get this to save and there's a problem. So,
Jeez.
Do you have any of this, Emily, or you're just living in WFS?
Yeah, Emily's just like, what's wrong with you guys?
No. I am fully WFS, and you guys gave me FOMO this week of like, oh, I just want to sell something merchant. I'm so glad I didn't, because mentally, spiritually, physically, I'm not in the best place to be taking on anything else. But no. And I'm glad, because these issues don't really affect me on the WFS side. I mean, sometimes I'll see the price, but I haven't been enrolled in the price incentives. Sometimes there's this glitch of you'll list your price at like $16.99, and then you'll go look later and it's dropped to $8.99. That's been going on forever. So that's not new, but no, I'm not having any of these issues. So
that's good.
And you know what? I just went into my pricing incentives, and I'm enrolled again.
Wow.
Like, the little toggle is now on.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I spent all day. So one of the other things I'm having an issue with is the price competitive score. It goes up, it goes down. It's just all over the place. I downloaded the Excel spreadsheet of what was supposed to be causing the issues. And I went into everyone and made sure they had a match, checked my price against other people. There's people with higher prices. There was a couple that were retired items that were listed. I deleted those. Like, I cleaned it all up yesterday, and my score went from 9% to 12%. So glad I spent a whole day on that.
Love that.
And explained to me why. And I'm not going to keep dropping my price when I'm in the buy box, or I'm not even the highest price. Like, there is zero incentive for me to do that. Right. It doesn't make any sense. Who are you price competing against? Your clearance price? Like, I don't know. And they're weird. They're not like, hey, this is one season, or this is, Easter stuff, and that's what's triggering it. It's all over the place. And there's not that many in there.
I feel that, like, if Walmart wants to create a separation, like, we cannot sell great value, then they should not make third-party sellers price against their own catalog. You should list your stuff at your price, and we list our stuff at our price, and you could compare our price against other third-party sellers. Okay. Yeah. But we should not be compared to your in-store clearance.
Yeah. Or same with, like, when they want the price match, they want an ASIN from Amazon. Well, the things that Amazon is selling is Amazon Fresh. People don't have that, and they're not buying that. So, like, it could be $2.99, but the first third-party seller's at $14.99 because they're shipping. So that's what they should go off of, is the first third-party price, not. Right.
Also, I feel like on Amazon, the way that a lot of us are is that we're willing to sell something at a lower price because the sales velocity on Amazon is there. So, like, even to compare the two, it's not fair, because I'm willing to take a $2-3 cut on Amazon because I know I can move 300 of these, versus on Walmart, I want the increase in the $3 because I might only move like 50. Mm-hmm. So the fact that they're comparing the two is
they can't really do it at this point.
And the crazy part is, even before Amazon started with all of their nonsense that we'll get to in a minute, that was kind of the driver for people to join Walmart, was that you didn't have to worry about the whatever. I don't even remember what Amazon called their price errors.
Pricing errors. It was like pricing
errors. Oh, was
it
still pricing errors? Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to worry about the pricing errors. You didn't have to worry about too many getting gated. You didn't have to worry about these things. And that's why people were like, oh, Walmart's great. Obviously, it's not going to always be a free-for-all. I understand they have to set like parameters and stuff, but bless you. But I just don't feel like the way they're going about it is the best way.
Yeah.
To say the least.
I know. This is when I want to be back. I hope they do some more roundtables at the conference again. And I get invited back and can talk to them, be like, I mean, well, I started all those people that I met with. I don't know if you guys know, but like LinkedIn is popping off again. It's like the place to be if you're not on LinkedIn. And so I went on LinkedIn and I was like, all these people I talked to at the Walmart conference, I'm like, add as friend, you know, like follow, connect, and like almost all of them have accepted so far. So I'm like, perfect, because when I make posts weekly about the podcast or about selling, I'm like, good. Now they're going to start even seeing it there and hopefully like kind of hear us a little more, because I love that they have these groups and we're talking to some of the, you know, the people in charge of that. But like, who's really making these decisions? Is it the people we're talking to in these groups, or is it higher ups? Like, where's this all coming from? It would be helpful to know kind of who's, because I mean, I was just so surprised the guy at that conference, or when I had that powwow, that he was like, why would you want to sell something merchant and WFS? Just WFS is not the answer to everything. Like that doesn't work for everything. Like, they try to make it seem it is now meltable season. We cannot WFS things that are potentially meltable. That is not just candy. That is gummy bears. That is, or I guess that's candy, but whatever. Gummy vitamins, chapsticks, those kind of things. You can't. So.
Yeah, I think the other thing to those conversations, I think it just depends on who you talk to, because like the first one that I had was with like a product manager, and I think she was just pretty like mid-level. But then when we had that issue with what was it? The catalog showing retired and all that in the all or whatever, and I was like blowing her email. And she's like, I'll get you a call with my manager. And then when I got the call with her manager, he was like a senior. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so then he was like, got it. What you're saying makes sense. We'll make the change. Give me a week. So I'm like, okay, so he's the one who's making the calls. Like she's reporting the issues to him. And then he's the one who says yes or no. Yeah. So I think it just depends on who, maybe those initial conversations are not with the decision makers, but it does seem like they're communicating a lot better.
Yes, it's coming. It's going up finally.
Like it's actually,
it wasn't. Yeah. And even when we had that with the higher ups, they were pulling people that were a little low, you know, kind of further down and having me have side still in that room, like having side conversations with some of them. So it was interesting though. It was like how their organization works.
Yeah. They're very, I feel like they're very like, I can't even say top heavy because it doesn't seem like they have a lot of managers, but it just seems like there's a lot of like
it's very segmented.
Very and then it's segmented. Everything is its own division. And I'm like,
and I find a lot of people you talk to have worked at Amazon before. So it's definitely like they're taking some of the same ideas and just thinking, oh, they'll apply over here. And then they just don't work. You know,
no, because they don't have the technology to pull off what Amazon is doing. But also, like, I keep trying to tell people, like, Amazon has been around for how many years now? Yes. I think we're at like 15 to 20 years at this point, whereas Walmart opened its doors to sellers, I think it was about 6 or 7 years ago. So it's like, or I should say third-party sellers. So it's like, yes, it's been around for a while, but it's still kind of in its baby
fourth
phase.
Of the time. It's kind of, I mean, for it to be the fourth of it, you know.
Yeah, and to get to where Amazon is, if that's their goal, they're gonna have to do a huge software revamp, which takes years and money. And people, and all those things. So I think it is getting better, but it's going to be a long time coming before we see Walmart be like an Amazon for us.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you want to segment into what Amazon is now doing to everybody?
There's this YouTuber that I follow, and she's calling it, she like named it the brand apocalypse, and I love it because I'm like, yeah, what is this?
Yeah.
Them getting rid of, like, I think I got hit the hardest out of all.
You did. I think you did.
I was like, every like 30 minutes, I feel like I'm getting like 3 emails. Like,
that's crazy.
What you guys don't know, they're like regating people. So like stuff you were allowed to sell, now they're just sending an email and saying, you have until the end of the month to stop selling it. Or actually, poor Morgan, they're like, nope, we're just going to start sending it back to you. You can't sell it.
Yeah, they said I had until the end of the month, but then I got a whole bunch of orders of them removing my inventory. And I'm like, okay.
Never mind.
Love that.
Jen, did you get any?
No, I haven't. But I told you guys, I've been selling quite a bit on Amazon. Like this year, I kind of shifted my focus a little. Last year, I was so Walmart heavy. Yeah. And then all the returns was just ridiculous. And so I was like, I'm going to just kind of shift. So Amazon, I've actually been doing a lot more Amazon than Walmart this year. Yeah. So I think that's saving me. And I don't do a lot of those like shiny brands either.
Right.
Yeah. I have like And it's so funny too, because I remember at one point, like when everybody got Regated and Nike and Lego, like last year, I was like, nope, can still sell it. Like,
Yeah.
and everybody's like, how does it feel to be God's favorite? And then now it's like, boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
You had a year to be his favorite, and now you're not anymore. I'm so sorry.
It's like stuff that like me and Jen were selling the same thing, and Jen is the only one left on the listing, and I'm like, what the heck?
Guess who's God's favorite now? I think it's because last year I got suspended on both platforms for bogus things that went away real fast once we figured out I should have never been suspended in the first place. So now it's trying to give it back to me and go, we're so sorry about last year's. We're gonna give you some good positive karma because you really hung in there.
Man, I'm like, what can I sell? Like, I feel like
I still can sell Nike, but I don't sell Nike. But I think it's funny. Like I went on the other day and I was like, no, it's I don't know. It was still showing the things I did sell on Nike. Those ASINs were still open. I thought everybody was getting gated on Nike, so I was surprised.
I don't remember if Nike is one of the ones.
I'm not about to sell it because I just feel like that one.
It's not even. That's just a target on your back.
Burning. Yeah, it's going down in a ball of flames.
And I feel like, well, now that people are getting kicked off it might be better, but Nike was once good, and I feel like it became a low-hanging fruit, and people would just tank it so bad. Like back when you could shop at TJ Maxx and Marshalls and Burlington,
they were on the outlet.
It was so good because you could get Nike for like $6-7 and flip it for like 40-50. But then people just started getting impatient, and next thing you know, like a pair of socks is now like $10, and it's like, dude, I paid $6 in store. Like we're just losing money on it. So I also think that that's playing a part, is that these brands want to keep the value that's associated with them. Because if you're going on Amazon and you're getting a pair of Nike socks for $10, like, unfortunately, how they look at it, I feel like, is that it's now accessible to everybody. And these brands of higher value, they want people who have money, they want people to wear it a certain way. And now, because you're selling it for $5, you're completely tanking the value of the brand. It's the same thing with La Roche-Posay on Walmart. I think it's gated on Amazon now. I think it's considered like a premium beauty, even though it's not. But it's like gated all around because that's like a great like skincare brand. It's pretty pricey, and people were on Walmart. Walmart was like selling this item for like $50. People were selling it for $10. And I'm like,
wow.
Why?
I can't even imagine that you're making money on this. It's funny because I just a couple days ago saw that they changed the formula and the item has now been discontinued. So maybe people got it super cheap, but I'm like, it doesn't even matter now. We can't sell it because you guys completely tanked the price on it. You're bringing down the brand value. These people work hard to build up their value and their customer base. A lot of money into
that branding and marketing and stuff. They want it to pay off. So
wow.
No, I think that's why a lot of them are going over to TikTok. I saw something.
Oh yeah.
I think it was like Smart Scout might have posted about it, that like some brands that Amazon, like it was just getting killed on Amazon from people making counterfeits and messing it up. And so they just yanked it and hard gated it, and nobody can sell it on Amazon. And they just went over and just only sell their product on TikTok now. And we're able to bring back the brand value and stuff and bring up the price and get it away.
I've actually seen that, like, because when I see stuff on TikTok, I'm like, how much can I get this for on Amazon? Like, is this actually a deal on TikTok, or like what's happening? Also, there's a lot of counterfeits on TikTok. So I'm like, I want to make sure I'm buying this from the actual brand. So it's a whole research process. But I've seen that where like even some brands, like let's say it's like a toothpaste, they'll have mint, spearmint, cinnamon, like all these different flavors on TikTok. But then I go to Amazon, they only have mint. And I'm like, that's interesting. Why do they only have, here and here? But I think you're right. That's what they're doing. They're trying to rebuild their brand on the other platform. Yeah, it is crazy.
I know. Well, it's just going to make the pool of things we can sell smaller and smaller and make it harder and harder, which stinks. But we'll all pivot like we've been doing. I mean, that's right. That's the only thing in business that is true, is the constant need to change. So it's not just this industry, you guys. It's every single company and brand is always constantly changing. So. But that's our real good news for today. Anybody?
What I will say, silver lining, I'm stealing Emily's light. Silver lining is that if you can make it through all of this chaos on both Amazon and Walmart, like the playing field is about to slim out.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely. Because people, it's getting hard and people don't want to deal with hard. They have their way of how they do it. They can pivot a little bit, but to make this huge, this is almost like a 180 change. So if you can stick this out, like Amazon specifically, I think is going to be a great platform again, because there's not going to be too many people left selling.
No, and on almost every listing I was on for this season, it was the same 5-10 of us.
Yeah.
On every single one. So, because I was like, people are just scared to do it, don't want to do it, or pivoted over to Walmart, and they're all chasing down to the bottom thinking that there's more of a market. And I'm like, I'm over here selling that same thing on Amazon for 6 times the price. So
who would have thought the day would come?
that's why I was like, I had a feeling last year when all this was like rolling out, and I was like, you know what, I am gonna try. I'm gonna take a chance this year and focus a little more back over there, and let's just see what happens, because I'm like, they're all just, I could see the migration. I was like, I'm gonna just go back over, fine by me, and wait for you guys all to spin out and burn out. And
it's so crazy because it's like, I remember the winter of 2023 when Amazon introduced like placement fees and stuff, and I'm like, all right, like Walmart, this is your time to shine, like let's figure this out. So I was doing merchant and FBM like across the board. Then 2024, like springtime, I changed to WFS mostly, and still merchant for Amazon. And then towards the end of last year, I like at one point I felt like I wasn't really selling much of anything at all on Amazon. Then towards the end of last year, about Q4, I'm like, okay, let me refocus on Amazon and try to do Walmart. And then I'm like, okay, this is like, okay. I was maybe doing like, I would say 60% Walmart, 40% Amazon. And then now I feel like during Easter, I slowly switched back over to like where I'm more like, I'd say like 70% Amazon, maybe 60% Amazon, 40% Walmart, because it was reversed for Easter, but then I started getting price aired on everything. So I was like, you know what, let me switch over, see what happens on Amazon. And stuff that I didn't think was gonna stick, it stuck. And I'm like, all right, let's run with this. And as we always say, you know, when you start selling on these platforms, then you start getting more and more sales for whatever reason, whatever it does to the algorithm. So now, because of those Easter sales, I've been selling stuff that I've been like, it's really dead inventory. All of a sudden it just picked up and started selling. So, but that's the hard part, is gambling all these platforms too, because you can't give 100% to both of them. Or even if you're on, you know, eBay too, like you can't give 300%. So how are you gonna divvy this up?
Divide it up. Yep.
Right.
1,000. Well, thanks for watching today, you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.